If there was enough evidence to officially charge a man accused of stabbing several people at a local church. The attack happened about 2 weeks ago at St. Jude Thaddeus Church in northwest Albuquerque. Investigators say Lawrence Capner stabbed 4 people with a knife as Mass was ending. They say he did it because he thought the choir leader was a Freemason. By the way, all of the victims are okay. An Albuquerque grandmother is expected to be okay after a Mother's Day celebration turned into what witnesses say was probably a freak accident. Police say 74-year-old Merced Estrada was hit in the head by a stray bullet as she stood on the church footsteps of San Juan Parish Sunday. Her family says she was in a crowd of people chatting before the 12:30 Mass when the bullet hit her. Police believe someone from a nearby neighborhood may have shot a gun. Estrada's family spent Mother's Day at the emergency room.
It was surprising that it was outside of the church and someone would be around the area shooting while the majority of the people go to church on Sundays.
Her grandson says the round did puncture a vein and had a slight crack in her skull.
A former teacher accused of sending inappropriate messages to an 11-year-old girl is supposed to be in court in just a few hours. Jacob Lawler is set to talk about this case with his attorneys and a judge. Police say he admitted to exchanging naked pictures with the girl in text messages back in 2011. Before that, Lawler had taught the girl at Edward Gonzalez Elementary. He got fired after he was arrested. Lawler's pled not guilty to a number of charges. Well, the man a couple says was trying to dig up their yard to find a piece of the hit TV show Breaking Bad is now out of jail. Christopher Mulan bonded out on Saturday after being involved in a very strange story. Eric McCullough and Scott Schneider say they found him digging right there in their yard on Coal and Ash with a rake recently.
I sort of panicked. You see a guy in all black with a skull cap and outside your window. It was scary at first.
McCullough and Schneider say Mulan told them he was looking for a key to the set of Breaking Bad. The show had filmed at the couple's home in the past, but they had not been there, or they had not heard there was any buried key there. They ended up calling the cops on Mulan, and officers say, well, he had meth on him, so they arrested him.
The Albuquerque woman who says some squatters took over her home could file a court order today to get him out. Meanwhile, her neighbor is continuing to take a stand against those they call unwelcome guests. One woman in the neighborhood says she is on a mission, warning other neighbors after she heard of squatters living in homes nearby. Now, she doesn't want to be identified, but she is making the case known in the area by passing out flyers.
My husband realized that it was close by, so I think I was outraged at the fact that somebody would not be permitted on their own property.
Last week, we told you about Sheila Denton, who says she left for Texas a couple of months ago and allowed a friend to stay at her home. Well, she says she came back to find several people living on her property. When deputies got involved, they told her it's a civil matter and they could not force those people out. So now she has to go to court for an eviction notice since the people claim they had a verbal agreement. Nearly a dozen people are now facing drunk driving charges after getting arrested at a checkpoint near downtown Albuquerque this weekend. APD's DWI unit picked up about 11 people over off of Cole and Broadway and seized 2 cars.
The man accused of throwing a booze-filled party for more than 3 dozen kids is still in jail this morning. Tremaine Moncrief was in court yesterday facing 35 charges of providing alcohol to minors. Police say he had a very large and very loud party at his home in the Northeast Heights on Saturday. They say just about everyone there was drunk and underage.
Today, we know more about the new school that will help teens better prepare to go to college. Albuquerque Public Schools and Central New Mexico Community College are teaming up to open a new dual credit high school. It will operate on the campus of the community college starting this upcoming school year. The school will be able to accommodate up to 400 students. The goal is for students to graduate with high school diplomas and possibly associate's degrees. Students in Albuquerque will be celebrating graduation this week. The ceremonies will be held at Tingley Coliseum at Expo, New Mexico. Graduations for alternative schools will be held at the National Hispanic Cultural Center. Videos of the 2013 graduation ceremonies will be posted on the APD high school graduation website within a day or so of the ceremony. We do have a link for all the graduation dates and times on KRQE.com, and that would be the APS's high school website that those videos will be posted on.
All right.
All right, 5:36 is now the time. You know, later this week, thousands of people whose homes are in foreclosure or perhaps are about to go there are getting a helping hand.
Yeah, that's about 1 in 1,500 homes here in New Mexico. It's not nearly as bad as it is in some states, specifically Florida, Nevada, and California, but it really is still far too high. News 13's David Romero is live in downtown Albuquerque. So, David, what's this help all about?
Well, Matt, we expect to learn more later this morning at a news conference here at the AG's office behind me about an event designed to help distressed homeowners. Now, both Attorney General Gary King and New Mexico Congresswoman Michelle Lujan Grisham will be making the announcement for helping people living in northern New Mexico. Now, this includes areas like towns north of Santa Fe where the Attorney General's office says they're seeing high foreclosure numbers. At the actual event itself, homeowners will sign in and attend classes on subjects such as scams associated with foreclosure and looking into alternatives to avoid it altogether. They will also have a chance to meet with a housing counselor. Organizers say holding events like this may be a critical part in helping some New Mexicans hang on to their homes.
A lot of people have no idea that there is free help available, and I stress free because unfortunately there are a number of scams out there preying on the people who can least afford it.
Now, when it happens, the event is expected to last about 4 to 6 hours. That's this coming Friday and Saturday. And of course, the AG's office says they plan to hold more events like this throughout the year. Matt, back to you.
All right, thank you for the advice there, David. It's a good idea to bring any of your mortgage and foreclosure paperwork to that event. I'll tell you, music filled the Duke City and the zoo as families gathered for a very special Mother's Day concert.
All right, 40 students from Dolores Gonzalez Elementary started the concert off, then gave the stage to the New Mexico Philharmonic. The Mother's Day concert was free for everyone at the zoo. Wow, what a treat that must have been.
Yeah, it was beautiful weather out there yesterday. Lots of baby animals there as well. You got to see and look at it. It was packed. People had a good time.
Yeah, I like that. All right.